Forgot to make an intro for this one, but in this short video I'll talk about PLAB 1 and my experience with the exam. This video is also sponsored. In the PLAB 1 exam, you have to attempt 180 multiple choice questions in 3 hours, and to clear the exam you have to score above the passing grade of that day. I gave the exam in April 2019. I took 3 months to prepare for the exam and I used 4 things for the exam: Plabable, PLAB 1 keys, medrevisions, and mock exams. We'll go through each and every one of them so that you understand what it is and why you need them. Plabable is a question bank. You have to purchase a 5-month or 6-month subscription. Medrevisions is also a question bank and you have to purchase a 5-month subscription. PLAB 1 keys basically offers explanation for each and every question in Plabable in the order that Plabable has them. And the mock exams that I attempted are in the Facebook group PLAB under the file section. There are quite a few of them, so you can go through as many as you want. So let's talk about how I studied for the exam. I used Plabable and PLAB 1 keys side by side because PLAB 1 keys is, like I said, explanation of Plabable's questions. I used the spaced repetition method. There is a link in the description down below, and so you can understand what it is. It was the first time that I used spaced repetition and I found it highly effective. I set a daily target of covering all the questions from one subject in one day, unless the subject was too big, for example gynecology or pediatrics, which took me a couple days to finish. I also made my own notes when I was going through Plabable and PLAB 1 keys. I only wrote down things that I felt would be difficult to memorize for me or difficult for me to remember on the exam. When I had 2 weeks left for the exam, I started using medrevisions and doing mock exams. I went through the high yield section of medrevisions, which had around about 3,000 questions, and I was only able to go through 1,600 of them because of the lack of time. In hindsight, I would have started medrevisions much earlier. I also tried to go through the Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine, but I don't think it was quite useful because it was difficult to retain, and I think I already had a lot of information in PLAB 1 keys and all the other things that I was already using. So on the exam day, I felt like 1/3 of the questions I could just recall them from Plabable or medrevisions or even the mock exams. Then another third of the questions were still testing me on the same concepts that I had covered in the past 3 months. But there was finally another third which I felt was a bit new, and I don't think I had covered or studied something like that in the last 3 months. And I just had to rely on my previous knowledge from medical school or even my internship year. But still, I don't recommend that you should go through even more materials to study for the exam. So just a few tips. I think 3 months are enough for the exam. You might have heard of a few people who, or even if you know a few friends who cleared the exam in a month, or you might even know some who took 6 months, but 3 months is enough. You don't need more and you shouldn't go for less. There should be links in the description for Plabable, PLAB 1 keys, and medrevisions, and even the mock exams on Facebook, so you can take a look at those as well. And that's it for this video. If you still have some questions about PLAB 1, please let me know in the comment section and I'll answer them as soon as I see them. I will also have another video for PLAB 2 soon enough.